After the success of King Kong vs. Godzilla, Toho decided to make more Godzilla films with their other famous monsters in the Toho catalog. If you think about it, this was the very start of a new cinematic universe, very first one before Marvel, at least technically speaking, resulting to the movie we're going to review today, Godzilla vs. Mothra from 1964. Or in the US they call it Godzilla vs. the Thing. But you may ask, why did they remove Mothra's name from the title of the movie? Well, it's basically this. Back then, Mothra was not a popular monster back then in the USA. So for marketing reasons, they decided to make Godzilla's enemy in the movie a mystery by putting in the movie title, The Thing. Okay, so let's begin with the review. In my honest opinion, this Godzilla movie was very good. I like how Toho was trying new ways to do special effects in this movie. Like for example, the Shobijin, or aka the Mothra's fairies, really look convincing in the scenes that we're in. Them interacting with the other human characters are very fun to see. Other special effects they did, like for example, Godzilla's atomic breath and the Mothra's giant egg do really look nice. But sometimes in the editing of this Godzilla movie, it's kind of a bit questionable. Like for example, in wide shots of these when Godzilla is destroying the city, the lighting of Godzilla does really look a little bit weird. But I'm not complaining. Keep in mind, this movie was made in the year 1964, so the technology of filmmaking was not that advanced for the time. But in my opinion, the other cool special effects that are mentioned earlier are still convincing enough, even today. Human characters for this Godzilla movie were surprisingly good, especially the three main characters. I basically like how they guided the story throughout the movie, and also the Shobijin were also cool to see. But for the main human villains, well, they're not interesting. They are just your run-of-the-mill, greedy, evil businessmen. So greedy in fact that one of them almost didn't escape from Godzilla because he was too busy stealing them monies. Well, that's pretty much it for the human characters. I enjoyed the human cast because they played their characters pretty well, but for my opinion, the villains were kind of bit generic. Because like I said, they're just your generic evil, greedy businessmen who only care about money, and that's pretty much it. The monsters themselves. Godzilla and Mothra were portrayed pretty well in this movie, and plus I really like their designs for both Godzilla and Mothra. For Godzilla, I like how they give Godzilla a much more mean look to him by giving Godzilla those mean looking eyebrows. And I also mentioned earlier, I also like the much more upgraded atomic breath because it actually looks like a beam of light. But there's one thing I don't get with Godzilla. He's very clumsy in this movie. He likes to trip and fall down way too much. I don't know, is it just me? But back then in old Godzilla films, they like portraying Godzilla of acting like a dumbass. Like, for example, Number 1, him not using his very hot atomic breath when he's trapped at ice. Number 2, wasting his time like a dumbass while clapping instead of finishing Kong when he had the opportunity. And number 3, basically in this movie, him being clumsy as hell. And also, another thing, in the American version of King Kong vs. Godzilla, it says that Godzilla's brain is super tiny. Yeah, the old movies of Godzilla films, they really like to portray Godzilla as some mindless brute. But let's talk about the other star monster, Mothra. I really like her design, and the suit for the movie. Well, it's not really a suit, more like a giant puppet to operate Mothra in the movie. I like how realistic it looks, and I like how it also moves, like for example the flapping of her wings and the movement of her little legs. It seems so real, and plus, I also like the little details like the fur and the little details on the eyes of the little dots on the puppet. But for the two little baby Mothras or the Mothra larvas, I'll be honest here, they don't look good. I prefer the OG design from the original Mothra movie because that one has more detail in the suit, or like I said before, the puppet. But the ones for this movie, or at least the two Mothra babies, look a little bit uncanny. They don't look like real kaiju. And another thing, I'm still scratching my head on how these two little baby Mothras managed to defeat a Godzilla. Yeah, sure, Godzilla fought a dying adult Mothra in the movie, But still, you're telling me that newborn babies can defeat a fully grown Godzilla? But I don't know, I just find that a little bit odd. Now, let's talk about some of the flaws in this Godzilla movie. To be honest, there's only a few flaws. Like, for example, the editing in Godzilla in this movie is kind of a bit questionable. Like, for example, the lighting of Godzilla was off when he was attacking the city, and minor editing mistakes like that. Like, for one example, in this scene where Godzilla is attacking the military while the Shobijin are singing to Mothra's egg to make it hatch. The problem in this scene is it's supposed to be daytime, but it switches to nighttime and daytime again by some odd reason, even though the scene is supposed to take place at daytime. But hey, at the end of the day, I still like this Godzilla movie. I like how Toho still manages to try to make a good Godzilla movie in the year 1964 with good special effects at the time. So if I were you, I would recommend this movie for you to watch if you're a beginner in the Godzilla franchise. Well, that's pretty much it for me. If you want to see more videos or reviews from me, just like and subscribe. And join me next time when Godzilla faces his arch nemesis with 3 sinister golden heads, Ghidorah the tree-headed monster. Anyways, see you guys next time.
With a crazy rap skill, get ready to rumble. Now be the time, if you ain't know, now you know. Good luck, Phyllis. Do the impossible, see the invisible. Row, row, fight the power. Hush the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, row, fight the power. What you wanna do is what you wanna do. Just break the roof and you see the truth. You see the view, cheek, baby. Row, row, fight the power. Second verse dedicates to the real peeps. What we gotta say is so real thing, cause revolution ain't never gonna televise. Kicking a map, whoa, microphone phenotype, opening through.